In this video, we're going to take a quick look at how the parachute functionality was added to the Poly War Pack. In order to make it so that the parachute takes control of the character's movement, it takes advantage of the rideable system included in the pack, which is used by various rideable vehicles like tanks and cars. This allows the player or other rider to attach itself to a vehicle and have their inputs forwarded to it for control. The easiest way to take advantage of the rideable system is to create a prefab variant from the base rideable prefab. This variant will be the generic parachute behavior, and then you can add further variants to give them each different appearances and stats, though in this case we will have only one. The advantage of using this variant-based approach is you can go back and add something and it will affect all of the variants created from it, making it easy to add or remove functionality to many things at once. The parachute itself, though, needs a custom script to make it move as the parachute does. This parachute movement script is relatively simple, but it produces a pretty convincing effect. You give it a location that the chute is located, which I just called the wing, and specify the amount of air resistance along and perpendicular to the chute direction. Unity provides some convenient methods for getting velocity at certain points, and since we care particularly about the velocity of the chute itself, that's the point at which we get the velocity. After a bit of math magic, the calculated force is then applied to the location of the parachute. If you're making your own version, do make sure that the force comes before the position in this method. Learn from my fail. The final thing the script does is call some event once it detects that the ground is within a specific range. You can then use this event for whatever. In the start event, though, it ensures that the script is disabled when the event is called, to make sure it doesn't say it's in range of the ground multiple times. On the parachute prefab, the ground in range event we just talked about is then used to eject the player and delete the parachute. In order to get the parachute to appear at all, though, we need another short script. This one could be a bit simpler, but I added a bit of fluff to give the parachute random rotation. It simply checks if the ground is in range, and if not, instantiates the object we specify, then rides it. You'll probably want this to be a parachute, though I guess if you wanted to use a tank instead for whatever reason, you could do that too. Crucially, though, the ground check only happens when this try-spawn parachute method is called. It's called once when the script starts, but is public so that it can also be called from Unity events. And it just so happens that we have access to a bunch of those in the Poly War Pack, so it's pretty simple to tell it to try spawning a parachute whenever, such as after they exit a vehicle like a plane. That's all for the scripts, but some other small things have been tweaked in the prefab as well. For example, the parachute has its enter and exit use effectors disabled so the player doesn't accidentally disengage the parachute and fall to their death. And in that way, we now have the ability to zoom around and drop in with a parachute. If you'd like to see more videos like this, check out the playlist, or if you'd like to get your hands on the Poly War Pack itself, go ahead and click the link. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Cheers!